Hello everybody and welcome to 2C TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C and we come to you guys with the latest news coming from the Islamic Kingdom of Britannia. Over the last couple of years, especially since October the 7th, 2023, we've seen a vocal and extremely loud escalation coming from the Islamic side, the anti-Semitic side, and of course the anti-Western, anti-British sentiments that is continuing to rise, but there is a bit of a pushback from the establishment because they are forced to actually following the rule of law, despite the fact that we still criticize the police and the political establishment for having a two-tier system and making things difficult for ordinary people in this country. But there is a slight crackdown right now on the Islamists who are clearly breaking the law. Now, we're going to give you guys the update on what is going on with one of the so-called NHS doctors, the National Health Service. This is about Dr. Rahma Aladwan. In case you don't know what she's done, these are the sort of things she posted on October the 7th and since then. When Hamas invaded Israel, she said, "Glory to the breaking of the 17-year-long illegal siege. Glory to the Palestinian resistance, glory to our martyrs. Al-Aqsa flood, Palestine, Gaza." That wasn't bad enough, right? It could get worse if you think that wasn't bad enough. She started going around, dressing up as Hamas member, on the streets of Britain, causing chaos. We have a video of her arrest, because she's now been arrested by the police in Britain. Before we show you the moment of the arrest, this is Rahma at one of the pro-Palestinian protests, and she decided to target the Jews and the counter-protesters and do this. Look, slitting the throat. Do you remember that Labour councillor, Ricky Jones? Watch it again. Apparently that was okay at the time. Right, Ricky Jones also basically got away with that. But the police, because of the rise of social media and new media channels like 2CTV and others, we are able to expose these things quite quickly and regularly. So the pressure that we are putting on the establishment, they have to do their job now. And it is relatively happening. So Rahma Aladwan has been arrested now by the police earlier this morning after she called for an armed resistance. Armed, basically. A jihad uprising, and she also called for the eradication of the Jewish nation, just completely wipe it out, all of them. She also repeated these remarks on the 21st of July in London at one of the pro-Hamas protests in the capital. The arrest comes 2 days before she was going to be facing the medical tribunal hearing. Now let's quickly go to that arrest, and she does say some crazy things, by the way, in this clip. Let's go and watch this.
In what power?
US pound.
In what? What? Sorry?
She's under arrest.
Why?
You're under arrest for four offences. Malicious communications, number 3, and for inciting racial hatred. I will explain to you everything. I just need to get cut on you because, like I said, I don't know what is in the house. So, Section 1 of the Malicious Communication Act and Section 127 of the Misuse of Public Communications Network. Again, on the 21st of July, at a pro-Palestine protest, which took place outside the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in King Charles Street, you gave a speech which amounts to calls for the eradication of Israel and implied support for all those involved in armed resistance against Israel.
And what? Israel? For Israel, the entity of Israel, the state. Israel, another place?
Sorry.
I thought it's for the UK.
And implied support for all of those involved in armed resistance against Israel.
No.
Including organisations such as Hamas. Again, like I said,
I was in front of the police when I gave that
You
speech.
say that this is what you're doing for Israel. We're Palestinians,
we're not going to talk about
and we've had
Get out!
our family members and friends murdered,
not
and you're doing
friends.
this for Israel.
We're not.
Are you doing this for Israel?
Tweeting comments that could be interpreted as anti-Semitic,
Towards these treating.
including anti-Semitic tropes which could be considered grossly offensive in character, On the 7th of October, you posted a variety of communications which demonstrated support for Hamas attack on Israel. An attack which involved murder, rape and kidnap of Israeli citizens, all of which may be considered grossly offensive in character. Search you as well.
She has an access
You
to
won't be going through your
So, of
stuff.
course-
Oh, yeah, that's fine, because we don't know what might be round.
This is what the UK does to their doctors.
Yeah.
Their doctors that are Palestinian, who have had family and friends murdered, and who are anti-genocide. That's it. That's all we advocate for.
You're a
We're
jihadi.
just against murder.
You're in favour of it. You celebrated October 7th.
See anything to see a nurse because we don't know what it is because I'm not a doctor and I don't understand what
I'm a
it's not
doctor.
you.
List
But
that
unfortunately, yes, unfortunately I'm not.
It's labelled.
We don't know you. We don't know who you are at all, so it could be anything. So we're not going to allow you to take any tablets right now.
At least just
She's a
put
respected
neutral.
doctor. Should be respected in UK.
I
You
just
my
asked
old
her
number.
to
Oh.
make this neutral. She just tightened them. Can we just have this on record, please?
You just
I know you're doing this for the Israeli Jewish lobby.
Israeli Jewish lobby.
Before my tribunal on Thursday, a doctor for 7 years, and I've never harmed anybody, never had any patient complaints. And
Forever
this
the
is what
victims.
state
Always
for
the victims.
for
Always
Israel,
victims.
for genocidal Israel.
oh.
Deport.
Rahma, are you
Deport.
cold?
Deport. Okay, so are you doing this for the Jewish lobby? She's not helping her case, is she? Now, the United Kingdom, our academic institutions and political institutions and civil service rewarded her before, made her a doctor in the NHS, working for the state. How on earth did these people not see this coming? So, she celebrated October 7th. She called for jihad. But apparently she's the victim because she's the one who's fighting against bad things. Now, speaking of crazy people, her other friends are not too happy about this. Bushra Sheikh, oh dear God. Bushra had a meltdown. A British NHS doctor, Rahma Aladwan, was arrested by the police from her home, as opposed to where, for simply expressing criticism of Israel, supporting Palestinian resistance and against genocide. I do not recognize this country anymore. Free speech until it's Israel. She doesn't recognize this country anymore. It's okay, Bushra. I will pay for your plane ticket. You can leave this country. There are many nicer places, apparently, for your behavior and your attitude. You could go to Paris. Oh, yeah. The Islamic capital of Europe. So, she was not arrested for criticism of Israel. She's a jihadi. There's a difference between criticizing governments and calling for jihad. That's a little bit naughty. Not a good idea. Bad. Bad doctor. Very bad doctor. Naughty doctor. So, we obviously 2 days from now she was going to be going to the medical tribunal because she's going to get suspended. And the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism said, we have submitted numerous complaints to the General Medical Council, GMC, regarding this doctor who is a prolific poster of the most deranged material and claims about Jewish people and is self-evidently unfit to serve as a regulated professional. The Medical Practitioners Tribunal Service, or MPTS, inexplicably disagreed, allowing her to continue to practice as a trainee pending further investigation, and we have threatened legal action. But now, even the Met Police, hardly the most proactive institution in the fight against anti-Semitism, believes that her conduct is so incendiary as to have potentially crossed the criminal threshold. Even the Met. What an absolute embarrassment to our medical regulator, and what a disgrace that it cannot see what ordinary people and even the Met Police can. Clearly, the GMC and the MPTS are unfit for purpose. You know what? They are absolutely spot on. And to be fair, I've been critical of some of the tactics by the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism as an organization, but they are quite correct here. She posted this before the arrest. 3 days until my MPTS hearing, the tribunal. To everyone who has supported me, signed the petition and donated. Ooh, gave money to it. Oh, nice. Thank you. Your solidarity is my strength. So is your nose. This political persecution will end. I will defend our free speech and Britain's independence from the Israeli Jewish lobby, and with everything I have, we will fight, we will win. Why do you have to add Jewish after Israeli? It's kind of obvious, it goes hand in hand. Israeli Jewish, not the Israeli Buddhist body, not the Israeli Hindu body, no, the Israeli Jewish body, lobby. Now, that aside, there is a fight, but there's also a fight back. The friends of this naughty doctor are slightly angry, just a little bit butthurt. So they are going to be preparing protests and riots over the next few days, over the next few weeks. We are going to be seeing tensions escalating on the streets of the capital in Britain. And it's not really a surprise. The Met Police are going to be freaking out as usual, but the Met Police also have different priorities apparently. So there is a Christian crusade that is being launched right now in the United Kingdom, led by Nick Tenconi, the leader of UKIP. He initially announced that on the 25th of October, this coming Saturday, at 1 p.m. outside the Whitechapel tube station, he's going to be leading with UKIP and everybody else a protest, a peaceful pro-free speech rally. But the issue with that was that Whitechapel is the the Pakistani Bangladeshi capital of the UK. There are hardly any white people there. You don't really see any blonde people, blonde women walking without headscarves on. And having a bit of a protest there is going to be causing some chaos. So the Met Police completely freaked out about this, right? First, let's go to the initial announcement by Nick Tenconi. Then I'm going to show you what the Met Police did in a reaction, because guess what? They banned it. And then Nick had a different plan. Let's go to Nick Tenconi.
The reason why the Islamists and communists do what they do is because we don't defend ourselves. They do it because they are not met with resistance. They do it because they get away with it. They do it because they can. They do it because they have never been confronted. Saturday the 25th of October is about free speech and it is about self-defense. But more than that, it is about courage. On Saturday the 25th of October,
that was the initial announcement.
Antifa, the Socialist Worker Party, the corrupt trade unions, the left, the socialists, the communists and the Islamo-fascists, that we will not be bullied and we will not back down. The formation of the Unholy Alliance is made of beta males. They are wannabe thugs at best. We are normalised to the fact that the Unholy Alliance are incredibly talented at two things. One, screaming victim, and two, screaming. They are weak and pathetic, as we have endlessly witnessed that when they are confronted with Christian and patriotic courage, they crumble. The reason they are so brave and loud is because they have had the mainstream media and left-wing femboys on their side.
Femboys.
The Unholy Alliance of communists and Islamists isn't made up of soldiers and fighters. They are made up of cowards and losers. They have absolutely nothing to threaten us with. We don't fear them, and we will be showing this to them on Saturday, the 25th of October in Whitechapel, when we stand up for our values outside Whitechapel tube station. We will peacefully take our country back, one city at a time.
But the Met Police said no. So essentially they banned it. They released a statement. Met intervenes to prevent serious disorder at Whitechapel protest. Concerns of serious disorder have prompted the Met Police. The event, initially advertised as a march from Whitechapel station and latterly revised to be an assembly in this same area, was organised by the United Kingdom Independence Party, or UKIP. It was due to take place on the afternoon of Saturday, 25th of October. And then they said, Public Order Act conditions have now been imposed, meaning UKIP cannot hold their protest in Whitechapel or anywhere else in the borough of Tower Hamlets. Officers from the Met's protest liaison team remain willing to engage with the organisers if they bring forward a proposal for an event in an alternative location. Then we had Commander Nick John saying Tower Hamlets has the largest percentage of Muslim residents anywhere in the UK, and the prospect of this protest taking place in the heart of the borough has been the cause of significant concern locally. Okay, I'm going to be objective here. On the one hand, just objective, for the sake of the argument, I get it, right? You know, that could cause chaos. There's an issue here, on the other hand. The demographic is changing in most of the places in the country right now, just like most of Western Europe. Which means, are you telling me that in 10 years' time, in 20 years, 30 years' time, when these areas, more towns and more cities become majority Muslim, right? Just demographic change, they have a lot of babies, they don't believe in condoms. And which means nobody who is a British patriot or a Christian would be able or allowed to protest in those places because it might offend them. So you're just giving the perfect solution to the Islamists. So they're going to sit there and say, okay, so this is what the Met did. Because they're scared of us, because we're going to cause chaos if Nick Tenconi gets there. So all we have to do is to go and have more babies all over the country in a couple of decades' time. No protest against us will be allowed anywhere in Britain. These idiots in the establishment don't think about the backlash, about the consequence of their political correctness. Nick Tenconi then changed the idea. He said, as a result of the two-tier policing, we are now moving the march somewhere else. They're now going to be marching from London's Brompton Oratory Church on Brompton Oratory Knightsbridge, I think towards the Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park. Let's go to the follow-up announcement.
Patriots, following two-tier policing, we will be moving our march on Saturday to outside the London Oratory on Brompton Road and marching through central London to Speaker's Corner. I am disgusted to see that the Metropolitan Police have cancelled our march in Whitechapel due to threats of violence from the local Islamist community. This is in direct breach of our democratic right to peaceful assembly, and it comes just a week after the disastrous decision from West Midlands Police to ban Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from attending an Aston Villa game due to concerns fans would be attacked by Islamist thugs. We are watching British police officers cave in to sectarian violence across the country, which is unacceptable. The Met must decide who is in charge of police strategy, police commanders or Islamist community leaders. Note how the Met Police did not cancel an Islamist pro-Palestine march on October the 2nd, the day 2 people were killed in a terror attack at the Manchester synagogue. And unlike our protests, the Islamists turned violent and attacked the police. Isn't it interesting? The Met Police regularly say they have no powers to stop all sorts of abhorrent extremist protests. Yet when it comes to us, they are able to trample on our rights. This is two-tier policing at its worst, and the Met have at best signified they have lost control of the streets of London, or at worst, are complicit with the Islamists in stifling our democracy. We will not be bullied, and we will now be meeting outside the London Oratory at 1 p.m. on Saturday, the 25th of October. Patriots, we will not be deterred from taking our country back.
Now, there is going to be more protests this weekend, including on Sunday in Southampton, which is going to be huge as well. One of the things to mention was that Tommy Robinson was called apparently far right. Everyone's far right now. So Tommy Robinson is now far right. Nick Tenconi is far right apparently. Makes no sense considering that neither of them are ethno-nationalists. They actually fight against ethno-nationalists. Tommy Robinson, a lot of his friends are actually obviously from different religions and different cultures and different ethnicities and everything else. Nick Tenconi himself, also in his announcement, he actually said that because he knows some of the people who are culturally Muslim, basically. In the West, we call them moderate Muslims. I don't like that term, moderate Muslims, but culturally Muslim. You're just born into a family, you don't really practice, you don't really care. But the message is, if you really care about Britain, if you don't care about Islam or jihad, you have to speak out. So Nick actually said, my hand is extended. You can join us if you prove it.
I am calling on all the peaceful, moderate Muslims to stand with us on Saturday the 25th of October in Whitechapel. If you stand against Islamism and Islamic extremism, as you say you do, then what's the problem? You should have absolutely no issue standing with us, and Muslims and Christians will unite in the fight against Islamist psychopaths and against the Islamic Caliphate. It is not enough to live in your cohorts and conclaves and stay silent when it comes to the Islamic Caliphate. It is not enough to sit silently when Islamist terror attacks happen. Now is the time to make your voices heard. By not publicly denouncing Islamism, then you willingly or unwillingly become the grass which the extremists sliver through. My hand is extended. Stand with us and join us.
So, now, for those who still haven't really understood the threat, for those who think that this is simply just about a few people who are basically Al-Qaeda or ISIS and they've kind of infiltrated the country and they want to blow things up, and that's the only issue. It's not, because this is a cultural issue. This is an infiltration of our society. They are openly saying this. Talking to Press TV on the streets of the UK. Some of you might have seen these sort of things. Just as an example, this is the sort of thing they are saying.
The city of Birmingham will not tolerate the disrespect of our Prophet, peace be upon him, and there will be outcomes from your actions. You will have repercussions for your actions. We have been trained from birth that we must defend the honor of our Prophet, and we will lay our life on the line.
Okay, you know, the other argument is, but okay, so if you don't like it here, go to your own country.
But why would we do that when our forefathers were instrumental in rebuilding this country after World War II? It was our grandfathers who worked in the factories 20 hours. It was our grandfathers who came here and run the infrastructure. It was our grandfathers who bought you the love.
Wait till the end. Wait, give it 5 seconds.
So how can you tell us to go? We're not going nowhere. We are here to stay. Like I say, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
We are not here to take part. We are here to take over. Watch it again.
We're here to take over.
I like that.
Yeah. Just as a reminder, Southampton, this Sunday, there will be an uprising. A democratic, pro-free speech uprising by the British Patriots. Tommy also promoted this earlier.
Well, I watched a video of families, mothers, grandmothers and children marching with their Union Jacks through Southampton, where they were confronted, intimidated and attacked by gangs of Muslim men. Reverse the roles. An issue upsets the Islamic community, their women and families come out and loads of young English lads attack them. Just wouldn't happen. And if it did happen, they'd come out in their thousands from all around the country. They'd probably burn the country, they would, yeah? My point is, I believe there's an event this Sunday after what happened to these innocent families trying to have their say in their community about the problems they're facing. Please, if you can, go to Southampton and support this community. Go and make sure that any women and children that come out are not violently confronted by gangs of Muslim men. This doesn't mean go and be aggressive, go and be violent because we lose. But go and show solidarity with the community of Southampton and the men of England or Britain. Go and protect those families from facing an onslaught of intimidation by violent, hostile Muslim youth. It's an absolute liberty watching that video. And where's the condemnation from politicians, from media, from commentators about the intimidation that our women and children faced in Southampton? Again, if you can go, please go Sunday. Be safe. Don't be the ones instigating problems, but make sure you're there to make sure that the community of Southampton can have their say.
Absolutely. So yeah, Saturday, London, Brompton Oratory, near Knightsbridge, and Sunday, Southampton, 1 p.m. Now, that is an interesting thought, because this, the Islamic side and the anti-Western side, obviously alongside the communists and socialists, they are now going to be using this as a perfect excuse to lash out. And then they will be the victims. They're going to start rioting again and causing chaos and say, we didn't do anything wrong. When they get arrested, they're going to say, well, why are we getting arrested? Well, there's a reason. If the police that are very soft on you, if they start arresting you, you must have done something wrong. And we always show it to you guys. 2CTV, we're always on the ground to show you live without editing anything or censoring anything. You know what they're doing. Now we're going to get some reaction from the live chat. I do have to give a big shout out, because today is the birthday of one of our long-standing and loyal supporters of 2C TV, Ivan. Happy birthday, Ivan. I don't know if he's actually in the live chat now, but I do know that later tonight, in about 2 hours, I think 8 p.m. UK time, I'm pretty sure, we are going to be in the 2C TV Plus chat forum, our private Discord server, to obviously have a chat. If you want to join us, if you want to talk to me directly, also celebrate Ivan's birthday, you can do that by going on 2c.tv. Actually, if you see on the screen, we have a promo code. You get 10% off 2C TV Plus annual memberships if you use the promo code YT10. That's YouTube 10. YT10. Now, let's see what's going on with you guys. Happy Diwali, everyone. A victory of rightness over... I thought it said other. Over evil, not other evil. Over evil. There was a post by Reform UK, the party in the UK, saying Happy Diwali. Obviously, people kicked off. So my position is always obviously Happy Diwali and everything else. People in India, and if you're a political party in Britain, the fight is supposed to be in the UK to protect and fight for Christian values, right? The issue is that if you don't know where you stand with multi-faith and multiculturalism, it's gonna backfire. So they need to pick a side. So the Tories made the same mistake. One day they say we're not going to do other religions. Next day they say we're going to do all religions, including Islam, which is not a religion, it's an ideology. It's all completely messed up. So there was a post by Reform UK, and their supporters kicked off. It's kind of funny. Keep it down. You're a little loud. What? Turn down the volume. Nina says, what's going on? Oh dear God, and we now have murderers in our NHS. Lock her up and throw away the keys. So yeah, this is not the first one. It's not going to be the last one. We've had the NHS in the UK refusing to treat Jewish kids. Kids, like, you know, they're not adults, but they just left them unattended in the corridor in the hospital. We've had that many times. We've had so many mistreatments. If they don't like a Jew, if they don't like this, if they don't like that, and this is not being addressed, which is a big problem. Will the Crown prosecution actually put this doctor on trial, or is this the arrest for semantics only? So the initial, it's both. So the initial arrest, the intent of arrest was technically semantics. It's not necessarily semantics, it's words. I'm not confident that she is gonna get properly prosecuted and punished, because Ricky Jones, the Labour councillor, former Labour councillor who did this, he got away with it. Let's not forget, I showed you the video. This woman, before she was arrested for what she's now said, and before everything else, she celebrated October the 7th and everything else, she also did this. Another time, she also did this, as you can see in the video, like Ricky Jones, right? So nothing happened to her based on that. Nothing happened to her based on the fact that she supported October the 7th and Hamas. Now they are going after her because she said we need to eradicate the Jewish nation, right? Which is also illegal. So my guess is she could get away with this. Yeah. I'm not convinced that the system would actually be able to punish her because of the precedent that they set previously. Yeah, we're in a bit of a dilemma right now. Vinny says, a massive protest in Southampton on Sunday. Even Tommy Robinson has tweeted about it. Big numbers expected. Yeah, as we showed you guys earlier as well. Thank you, Vinny. Yeah, you did just say, I sent that before you announced it. Brilliant. No worries. Devon Lilly says, England and the UK will never be Muslim. Never underestimate the UK. Save our kids. We will never bow down, ever. Yeah, I mean, one thing is fighting, if you want to fight. But the biggest issue is if you're not having babies, you're going to lose. And the white British are not having enough babies. So over time, doesn't matter if you're going to go out on the street, I will fight for our children. Yeah, you could do it for a couple of weeks. In about 50 years' time, it's over. So unless you bring back the Christian cultural values to actually allow to have some discipline, family values, community spirit, fight back for basic traditional conservative values, to be able to allow people to get together, to support each other, to support the community and have babies, get married and not get divorced every 10 minutes, it's not going to happen. So that's the only solution right now. So for the fight back obviously is important, but the long-term solution is to have babies. Have babies, don't get divorced. Ideally, marry someone that is right for you rather than just get married for the sake of getting married. Now, Naz says, I'm a little bit old now for babies, right? You lot start producing more kids. You know, never say never, right? Just, what was it? Was it Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan was having babies, like obviously a lot of babies, for a very long time. You know, if he had enough sperm. All right, now, Ginger says, how can we pay for our babies when we were paying for other people's babies? Well, the idea is that societies that are actually poorer have more babies than the societies that are richer. Societies that are richer, and I'm not saying Britain is richer, actually Britain is poor. It's not poor like Pakistan poor, but the cost of living crisis has been bad for a long time. And of course, we pay for foreigners. And relatively speaking, is the middle classes are those who are also complaining. The middle classes in Britain saying, well, it's expensive to have a baby, whereas people who have no money, they have more babies. And I'm not saying in Britain, you're going to say, well, yeah, because in Britain, we're going to pay them. No. They have babies in poverty in countries that don't have benefit system. So that excuse that the middle classes use is just boring. It's very boring. Because having babies and having an excuse of, well, it's going to be expensive, that's not the point of babies. It's not about your economic situation. It's not about finances. Having babies is more important than that. Even if you're in poverty, having babies is very important. That's why those societies are still stronger. So that is one of the main points, that the Pakistani side, the Bangladeshi side are still increasing their population, or Gazans for that matter. But obviously, Ginger still makes a good point, by the way. Obviously, you still want to have a better condition in your country, civilized country. So you need to change policies first to bring down the costs of the state, to stop foreign aid, to stop giving benefits to people who don't deserve it. First, the benefits should be for the bottom of society, those who really need help. We don't actually help people at the bottom of society. We still got so many people who are doing rough sleeping, homeless people, British, by the way, British people, natives. Sort out the benefit system, stop wasting money in the government, and then have a better economic situation for people anyway. But it's about promoting the values. People don't understand the values. The fact that people sit here, they would calculate to saying, well, if I get married, oh, this is going to cost me. If I have one baby, it's this. You are seeing it as some sort of business problem. It's about the values. It's about what it does for the future, for your legacy as well. And before anybody asks, yes, I'm trying my best. We're in the process. Nick says, Maya, calm down. I'm very calm. When Reform are in and Ant Middleton, may you will see mass deport. Hey, Nick, you got it wrong. I think you think Anne Middleton is Reform. And Reform UK, Nigel Farage hate Ant Middleton. They like literally assassination level hate. Anne Middleton is not Reform, and he's going to be standing separately. I think he's going to stand as independent, obviously, unless one of the smaller parties get him. And but mass deportations, Reform UK don't want that. The Reform UK's mass deportation plan is not mass deportations. If you read the actual policy, it's not mass deportations. It's big number of deportations of people who are going to come into the country illegally. That's not mass deportations. And Milton is only going to be potentially the mayor of London. He has no power to do mass deportation. So you have to think before you say things. Otherwise, it's just pointless. Right. Now, should we try... yeah, someone says Anne Milton knows how these people fight. Yeah, it's still very important to have people like Anne in politics, by the way. And I hope he does well. But no, he's not Reform UK. He was supposed to be until Reform UK discovered he's actually right wing. They're like, no, we can't have a right wing. Yeah? It's too controversial. We need the centrist votes. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. As I said, in about an hour and 40 minutes, 8 p.m. UK time, I'm going to be on our chat forum on 2CTV Plus. You can also join 2CTV Plus today if you scan the QR code or just go on 2c.tv. But if you use the promo code YT10, as in YouTube, you will get 10% off annual memberships, not monthly, annual memberships. And once you do that, go on our chat forum and obviously get our private Discord server. On the left hand side, you could see, actually, we're not going to use a post live chat. We're going to go on the general voice chat, which is just underneath that one. We're going to be there at 8 p.m. UK time to celebrate Ivan's birthday. And also just if you want to have a chat with me about this topic and everything else, this is your opportunity to communicate directly. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.